Good evening. Welcome to Jeevan News at 8. I'm ANSHIKA Sharma. Let's look at the top stories of the day first. Compromising CPM Karat political alliance. Ignored the conversation about Congress. No election to be held. Opposition leaders issued impeachment notice against CJI to Vice President. 64 MP were signed, says Congress. Virinjam project, government serve rupees 10 crore. Penalty notice to Adani. Group of Adani seek more time. Centre to amend POSCO Act to ensure death penalty in child rape case till 12-year age. Supreme Court approved admission of 10 students. Supreme Court denied High Court order. Now the news in detail. Talks are on in Delhi to find a new president for Kerala Pradesh Congress Committee. President Rahul Gandhi met senior Congress leader Umman Chandi on Thursday and will be meeting Ramesh Chennithala on Friday to seek their opinion on selecting the new chief. The cash-strapped state government has banned officials from creating new posts and urged them to bring down expenditure on telephone, flight tickets and vehicle purchase in a desperate bid to cut down expenditure. The Finance Ministry passed the Controls on Spending order in a bid to further harden restrictions as the financial crisis aggravates. The order insists that officials need to take a clearance from the Chief Minister for overseas journey. Application for such trips should be submitted to government 4 weeks in advance. Purchase of new vehicles is restricted to departmental heads, law enforcing agencies, heads of local administrative bodies and granted aid institutions. The price of new vehicle has been capped to rupees 14 lakhs. Government departments, public enterprise in universities, corporation, etc. can hire vehicles for 5 years instead of going in for fresh purchase. Formation of aided institutions have also been disallowed. Officials of government departments, civic bodies, universities, boards, corporations and public sector should curb air travel and also should utilize video conferencing facilities. More often, officials have been advised to use mobile phones rather than more expensive landlines as call rates have come down. Those with prepaid connections will be granted rupees 440 per month. Head of department who were given rupees 1,500 for mobile calls will now be given rupees 1,000 only. The finance department say all bills included by Treasury in the queue as part of fiscal ordering set last year will be cleared. All DDOs who have their bill lined up should contact the Treasury officer for it. News Desk, Thiruvananthapuram. Kerala government sent a legal notice to Adani Group seeking compensation for non-compliance with terms in construction of Virinjam port. The government has sought rupees 18 crores as compensation. Earlier, Adani Group had asked for more time for completion of the project. In the request, the group had pleaded that damages caused due to Oki cyclone hampered the construction work. The government had dismissed the request. Amid nationwide grief and anger over rising child rape cases, the government has said it has started the process to amend law to introduce death penalty for rape of minors below 12 years of age.
Central government, in a letter submitted to the Supreme Court on Friday, said that it has started the process to amend the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences (POCSO) Act to introduce death penalty for rape of minors till 12 years of age. Centre submitted its report while responding to a PIL filed by Advocate Alok Srivastava seeking maximum sentence of death penalty to those offenders involved in the rape and brutal murder of children between the age group of 0 to 12. The Apex Court 3-judge bench headed by Chief Justice of India Deepak Mishra and comprising of Justices A.M. Khanwilkar and D.Y. Chandrachud fixed the matter for further hearing to April 27. Disturbed of the rape and murder of an 8-year-old girl in Qatar, Katwa, Union Minister of Women and Children Development Menaka Gandhi had few days ago asked the department to work a proposal to amend the POCSO law to bring in provision of death penalty for the rape of minor below the age of 12 years. The minor girl in Katwa case, who belonged to a minority nomadic community, had disappeared from her home in the forest next to a village in Katwa, 90 kilometers from there, on January 10th. News Desk, Jeevan.
Opposition parties led by Congress on Friday met Vice President and Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu and handed over a notice of impeachment of Chief Justice of India, Deepak Mishra.
According to sources, over 60 MPs of Rajya Sabha belonging to several political parties have the notice for impeachment against the CJI. The MPs who signed the notice belong to Congress, the NCP, the CPIM and CPI, the SP and the BSP. The leaders of these parties earlier met in Parliament and gave final shape to the notice for impeachment. After the meeting, leader of the opposition, Ghulam Nabi Azad, confirmed that the leaders were moving the notice for impeachment against CJI. Among those who attended the meeting in Parliament were Congress leaders Azad, Kapil Sibal and Randeep Kajarwala, besides CPI's D. Raja and NCP's Vandana Chavan. Sources said the Trinamool Congress and the DMK, which were initially in favour of the impeachment against the CJI, are no longer part of it. The impeachment notice comes a day after the Supreme Court rejected a bunch of petitions seeking an independent probe into the death of Judge B.H. Loya, who was hearing the Sohrabuddin Sheikh encounter case. The SE judgment was delivered by a bench headed by the Chief Justice of India. An impeachment motion in the Rajya Sabha has to be supported by at least 50 MPs of the upper house, while the number of MPs supporting such a motion in Lok Sabha is 100. Once the notice for impeachment is submitted to Rajya Sabha chairman, he will ascertain whether there is merit or ground for moving such a motion. In case he finds merit, then he may form a committee to look into it, else he can reject it. If moved, this will be the first time ever in country's history that an impeachment would be moved against the Chief Justice of India. National Desk, Jeevan.
The Supreme Court has approved the admission of 10 out of 150 students who got admission in the academic year 2016-17 in Malabar Medical College in Kozhikode district. The Apex Court bench headed by Justice A.K. Sikri has also cancelled the High Court verdict that made void the admissions. The SC observed that making void the admissions only for the reason that the student did not apply online is a violation of natural justice. The medical university has not approved their admissions, though they took the first year examination according to an order of SC. Their results have not been published. Their admissions have not been regularized yet. Though they approached the HC following this, they did not get a favorable verdict. The students approached the Supreme Court following this. Now, with the order by the Supreme Court, their admissions will have to be regularized and their results published. The college administration had informed the court that these students could not upload their application online as their official website was under maintenance. Also, the government had asked to outset the students of court. Nevertheless, these students had informed the supervising committee about them not being able to upload their applications online, and they got admissions along with the other students as per verbal order by supervising committee. Nevertheless, the supervising committee later on cancelled their admissions without any prior notice, stating that these students have not uploaded their applications online. Even these students came to know that the status of their admission only when they tried downloading the hall ticket for the first year examination. Though they brought this to the notice of government and education minister, no action was taken. They finally had to approach the High Court to gain permission to write first year examination. Though they approached the High Court seeking the approve their admission, they did not get a favorable verdict as the government, university and supervising committee opposed their demand. News Desk, Jeevan. Nurses of private hospitals will hold a long march to express their unhappiness in trying to sabotage the pay hike package. The march, held under the banner of UNA, will begin on April 24th from Cherthala till Trivandrum.
The nurses are up in arms with the government for not issuing order regarding the pay hike that was promised 8 months back within a minimum salary of Rs 20,000. The strike and the long march will be held against this. The nurse protest, which is continuing for past 43 days, will begin on April 24th from the KVM hospital in Cherthala and end in front of the Secretariat in Thiruvananthapuram. The nurses are planning the strike spanning 8 days, covering 168 kilometers. At present, nurses are undertaking a stare in front of the Secretariat indefinitely. News Desk, Jeevan.
Air travellers could be paid a compensation up to Rs 20,000 for flight delays and cancellations and Rs 5,000 for being denied boarding, a draft passenger charter has proposed.
The chartered firm by the Ministry of Civil Aviation is expected to be placed in public domain soon following a final round of meeting with the stakeholders, officials said. Civil Aviation Secretary R.N. Chaubai had said that last week they had easy to understand passenger charter would mention all entitlements of an air travelers as an existing regulations of the Directorate General of Civil Aviation. The aviation watchdog with the guard of the compensation were not passengers friendly. The draft proposal includes full refund if the delay is in over 6 hours. The compensation amount could be an high of Rs 20,000 if passengers miss connecting flights due to airline cancellation during the initial leg of the journey. In the case of denial of the boarding, the compensation could be Rs 5,000 as such instance of a house seen a sharp rise in the recent past. The official said, adding the existing rules of an count remain flexible. News Desk, Jeevan.
Miscreants who created violence in several parts of Kerala under the cover of hoax general strike called and social media will be charged under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act.
The Kerala Home Ministry issued an order in this regard as the protesters had revealed the identity of a minor rape-cum-murder victim while exhorting people to observe a hartal in Kerala on April 16. Several people who took the lead in closing down shops and blocking vehicles last Monday were seen holding placards bearing the image and name of the girl who was raped and murdered in Katwa in Jammu and Kashmir recently. The police have already arrested a few people on charges of attacking public and vehicles as well as looting shops as hooligans tried to enforce a hartal in Kerala on the pretext of protesting against the crime in northmost Indian state. The police are checking if the accused share the identity of the deceased girl on social media. If it is found they played a role in revealing the girl's identity, they will be booked under relevant charges under the POCSO Act, a stringent law that aims to protect children from sexual crimes. In Thiruvananthapuram district alone, 405 people were arrested for creating unrest on April 16 and 115 among them are in remand. The arrests include those who burgled shops amid the enforcement of shutdown. More people could be arrested in the coming days. News Desk, Jeevan.
Gujarat High Court acquitted former Bharatiya Janata Party minister Maya Kadnani in 2002 Naroda Patia riot case in which 97 Muslims were killed following the Godhra riots. Kodnani was sentenced to 28 years of imprisonment. However, the conviction of Bajrang Dal leader Babu Bajrangi, who had also moved the court challenging the previous ruling, was upheld. He was sentenced to life imprisonment till death. A division bench of the court comprising Justice Harsha Devani and Justice A.S. Suppaiah concluded the hearing and reserved the order in the case last August. In 2012, a special court for special investigation team cases had sentenced 32 people to life imprisonment. Apart from this, 7 accused were given enhanced life imprisonment of 21 years and the remaining were given simple life imprisonment for 14 years. All the convicts had appealed against their conviction in High Court. Around 58 people lost their life when S6 coach of Sabarmati Express was allegedly torched at Godhra railway station on February 27, 2002. Following the incident on February 28, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and Bajrang Dal declared Gujarat Bandh. A total of 97 people were killed by rioters in Ahmedabad Naroda Patia area on this day. National Desk, Jeevan. Raul Castro said nothing about how a young civilian from outside his family could lead the socialist nation, that he had his older brother Fidel Castro created from scratch and ruled with total control for nearly 60 years.
Exiles in Miami said Miguel Diaz-Canel would be figurehead for continued Mr. Castro dominance. Cubans on the island speculated about a weak president sharing power with the head of the Communist Party or maybe a newly created post of Prime Minister. No one who knew was talking and no one who was talking knew. The first clues to the mystery of Cuba's future power structure were revealed early Thursday when Mr. Raul Castro handed the presidency to Mr. Diaz-Canel, who took office when 604-member National Assembly said 603 of its members had approved the 57-year-old as the sole official candidate for the top government position. With Mr. Castro watching from the audience, Mr. Diaz-Canel made clear that for the moment he would defer to the man who founded Cuba's communist system along with his brother. Mr. Diaz-Canel said he would retain Mr. Castro's cabinet through at least July when the National Assembly meets again. Mr. Castro's 90-minute valedictory speech offered his first clear plan for the president whom Mr. Castro seemed to envision as the heir to near total control of the country's political system, which in turn dominates virtually every aspect of life in Cuba. Mr. Castro said he foresees the white-haired electronics engineer serving 2 5-year terms as leader of Cuban government and taking the helm of Communist Party, the country's ultimate authority, also for 2 5-year terms when Mr. Castro leaves the powerful position in 2021. International Desk, Jeevan.
The Supreme Court directed the central government to seize underworld don Dawood Ibrahim's property. The Supreme Court bench, headed by Justice R.K. Agarwal, dismissed the plea filed by underworld don's family against the attachment of Dawood's properties in Mumbai.
After Dawood fled in India in 1990s, properties belonging to him and his associates were seized under the provision of SAFEMA. However, Dawood's family had challenged the seizure. Earlier in November, the fugitive gangster's properties were auctioned by the Ministry of Finance under the Smugglers and Foreign Exchange Manipulators Act. 3 properties in South Mumbai that belonged to Dawood were sold to Saifi Burani Upliftment Trust, which has an ongoing redevelopment project in the Bindi Bazaar area. The public auction was held by SAFEMA at Churchgate and almost a dozen bidders had turned up for the auction. Swami Chakrapani, national president of Akhil Bharat Hindu Mahasabha, who had earlier said that he will acquire Ravna's Afros in the bidding and will build a public toilet there, failed to pay interest money for the auction and was later disqualified by the competent authority SAFEMA. The authorities decided to auction these properties in a phased manner. However, the past auctions of the gangster's property failed to receive much response from the bidders. The 62-year-old fugitive mafia boss wanted in India as the mastermind of Mumbai bomb blast in 1993 and accused of crimes such as match fixing and extortion, acquired a vast property portfolio across the Midlands, Southeast in the UK as well as in India, UAE, Emirates, Spain, Morocco, Turkey, Cyprus, Australia. The Times reported. News Desk, Jeevan.
In a bizarre turn of events, doctor who had examined Shamana, the pregnant woman who had gone missing from Thiruvananthapuram, Sat Hospital on Tuesday but was found on Wednesday, have confirmed that she was not pregnant. This clarification was given by doctors at Karunagapalli Hospital where she had undergone examination. This new development has bemused her husband and policemen who virtually travelled across the state in search of her. The police added there was something mysterious about her intentions. Shamna is the wife of Anshad of Pallikal near Madavur. The Medical College police had launched the search for her following a complaint from a family on Tuesday. Medical College Station House Officer Binu Kumar C said the woman who was brought to the hospital outpatient wing disappeared around 12 p.m. on Tuesday. The visuals of this were obtained from the CCTV. According to SAT hospital authorities, she had not shown her old OP tickets to SAT doctors, but she had taken a new OP ticket. On Tuesday, she was examined by a doctor and asked to get some blood tests done. She returned to OP to see the doctor but went missing after that. As per family's complaint to the police, at around 6 p.m. she called his sister-in-law to say she was all right. By examining the mobile tower location, she was found to be present in Kumarapuram area at 12:30 p.m., Kottarakara at 5 p.m. and in Ernakulam at 8 p.m. It was an auto driver who identified her at Karunagapalli and informed the police on Thursday evening. Police along with her husband reached Karunagapalli and got her custody. However, police were doubtful about her pregnancy after she went missing. How could a heavily pregnant woman travel so long? They asked. They are also trying to find out whether she was held by someone else. Though they checked her call list, no clue was obtained. Now the puzzling question before the police is why she had faked pregnancy. News Desk, Jeevan. Kerala Kaumudi Chief Editor M.S. Ravi passed away on Friday at around 2:50 p.m. in a private hospital here in Thiruvananthapuram at the age of 68. Though he was rushed to a private hospital after he collapsed at his own house there in Thiruvananthapuram, his life could not be saved. M.S. Ravi was the fourth son of Kerala Kaumudi founder-editor K. Sukumaran. He was a prominent figure in both social and cultural arena of Kerala. He was also the director of Kerala Kaumudi. He is survived by his wife Shailaja and son Deepu Ravi, editor, and Darshan Ravi, marketing director. Before we wind up, let's look at the headlines once again. Compromise in CPM Karat political alliance. Ignored the conversation about Congress. No election to be held. Opposition leaders issued impeachment notice against CJI to Vice President. 64 MP were signed, says Congress. Virinyam project, government serve rupees 10 crore penalty notice to Adani. Group of Adani seek more time. Centre to amend POSCO Act to ensure death penalty in child rape case till 12 years of age. Supreme Court approve admission of 10 students. Supreme Court deny High Court order. That's all for today's English News Desk. Thank you for watching and good night.